Merry Christmas, Libra. It's the last month of 2021. Can you believe it's flying fast? And this month I'm going to animate the chart to bring you some important, vital information of an astrological nature, which relates to the third house of your horoscope. There's a super important event. It's called a solar eclipse, which many of you have heard me talk about in the past. This month it's taking place in your third house. All to do with communication, short journeys, and the way your mind thinks. This is important because the eclipses are always occurring on or near the karmic points, this karmic axis, the north-south node. So it does create a pattern of reshaping your mental approach to life, the way you communicate, the way you negotiate. That's all the more prominent because of the placement of Mercury here at the same time. Mercury is the planet of expense, ruling your 12th house, and the planet of good fortune, education. And third house is also a type of education where you are learning new things. And so this eclipse blocks off certain energies for a moment. The sun is related to your 11th house of friendships and personal gain. So you may be thinking about any or all of these sorts of areas in your life during this eclipse. The other important component is this one here, Venus, in close proximity to Pluto at this time, and on the 18th, getting set to move into its retrograde motion. Now, people are afraid of retrograde planets, but when the planet is friendly to you, it's what we call a benefic, which it is for you because it's your ruling planet, it rules your sun sign. It's going to give some very powerful influences. The other thing you should note is that Venus gains considerable strength being here in this lower part of the horoscope. This is the north, if we look at it, and it gets what's called directional strength. So at this time leading up to Christmas, you could be revitalized moving in a northern direction, taking a holiday in that area, and that will be very, very useful for you. Notice the combination of the moon and Uranus here around the 15th, 16th, trining this Pluto-Venus combo here. Something sudden and abrupt may happen, but I think it's of a fortuitous nature because you've also got Mercury, that overall friendly planet, making its way through. You're doing a lot of thinking about your property matters, where you live, if you're renting or buying, there could be changes afoot. Of course, Christmas time is not the ideal time to make any of those important changes, but we do see an opportunity for you, at least some planning that's going on during this phase of the year. Venus is stationary for a few days there, as you can see there, even on the 20th. But that stationary retrograde motion empowers it, and it gives it a much stronger foothold on the area that it's transiting. Venus in the fourth house shows a love of family, a love of your relatives, a love of the mother. The sun also moves into that area, bringing with it a dynamic energy. You know, you've had that solar eclipse taking place just days earlier, and then it moving into the fourth house to make its way to meet these other planets. And that's very important. Just there on the 24th of December, we also, well, just before that, we see the transit of Mars into this third house as the finance planet. And so there's a dominance of energy down in this lower part of the horoscope, which is more an inward turn sort of activity, looking to your family, you know, staying within the four walls of your home, and really trying to enjoy the company of those that are blood related, rather than those of a social nature. However, the sun does rule your social affairs, and so we see it making contact here with this fourth house. So that love of family could extend to maybe include one or two close friends to bring them into that family circle of trust, if you could call it that. Now, finally, on the 29th of December, another significant transit is that of Jupiter. And that's potent because it moves into its, I'm just sort of getting a look here, it moves into its own sign of Pisces there. And that's going to be greeted by Neptune, the much slower planet, also ruling Neptune, in this house of health and vitality, this house of enemies, and the house of workplace activities. So there's a shift, but more on that in 2022 when we come back to it, because that's a slower moving transit. You do finish the year on a very, very domestic note here, and generally that should be a positive note because of the influence of Venus, your ruler. Go on over there to astrology.com.au. I can't sort of prod you enough. I've got the yearly forecast for 2022 already up there for you, Libra. You're going to gain a great deal of insight into what's going on. More insight if you want to have a closer look at your personal horoscope, which will detail for your exact time of birth what's going to happen and unfold for you and your destiny in 2022. I really look forward to your company again next year. Hope you're going to join me. New subscribers included. Subscribe while I'm on the note. And do take every precaution. Enjoy your Christmas. Hope Santa brings you everything you're looking for. And I'll be back first week in January. Take care now. Bye-bye.